Africa, a continent brimming with potential, has long been the recipient of global aid. The stated goal? To alleviate poverty, improve health and foster economic growth. Billions of dollars have flowed in, yet the intended outcomes remain elusive. Why? Because good intentions alone cannot erase complex realities. Aid, while seemingly altruistic, often masks a system fraught with flaws. Instead of empowering African nations, it often creates dependency. Rather than promoting self-sufficiency, it can stifle innovation and local initiative. The time has come to critically examine the true cost of aid and chart a new course. We must move beyond the simplistic narrative of a generous West rescuing a helpless Africa. The truth is far more nuanced. Aid in its current form often hinders more than it helps. It is time for a paradigm shift, one that prioritizes sustainable solutions and empowers Africans to take charge of their own destiny. A corrosive effect of aid is its tendency to fuel corruption. Large inflows of unearned income create perverse incentives for governments. Accountability weakens, transparency fades, and the very people aid is meant to help are further marginalized. When a government's survival depends less on its own citizens and more on foreign donors, a dangerous dynamic emerges. Leaders become accountable to external actors, not their own people. This undermines democratic principles and creates a breeding ground for corruption. Furthermore, aid can distort local economies, creating a culture of dependency. Local businesses struggle to compete with an influx of subsidized goods and services. This stifles entrepreneurship, a key driver of sustainable development. The unintended consequence of well-intentioned aid is often a vicious cycle of dependency. When aid flows freely, governments have less incentive to implement sound economic policies or invest in their own people. This perpetuates the very problems aid seeks to solve. Moreover, aid can discourage foreign direct investment. Businesses are hesitant to invest in countries where governments are overly reliant on aid and where economic policies are distorted by external influence. This further limits opportunities for sustainable growth. The human cost of this dependency is immense. Generations are deprived of the opportunity to reach their full potential. The promise of aid remains tantalizingly out of reach, while the reality is one of continued struggle. Breaking free from this cycle requires a fundamental shift in approach. Instead of perpetuating dependency, aid must empower. It must foster self-reliance, promote good governance, and create an environment where businesses can thrive. This requires a move away from unconditional aid and towards a system based on mutual accountability. Aid should be tied to concrete progress on governance reforms, anti-corruption measures, and investments in education and healthcare. We must recognize that true progress comes from within. African nations possess the ingenuity, resilience, and resources to forge their own path to prosperity. What they need is not endless handouts, but a level playing field, fair trade practices, and genuine partnerships that empower them to succeed. Let us move beyond the failed promises of the past and embrace a future where aid empowers, not enslaves, where it unlocks potential, not perpetuates dependency. Let us work together to build a more just and prosperous future for Africa, one driven not by charity but by opportunity and self-determination.